This deck, I must say, I'm glad I'm taking a second look at it. It deserves it. I apologize to the great fairy godmother. I was wrong, but I'm now going to make it right. Hi everyone, it's Lori at Craggy Brook Witchery, and it's 5 to 12, the witching hour. So this is when Fairy Godmother can come out and help us. And I happen to have a Fairy Godmother deck. And so I really want to show it to everybody. So hang in. This deck I purchased in 2017. And I must say I didn't connect with it. And I have to say too that I spent $34 on this deck, including tax, back in 2017. And I didn't think it was really worth it back then, but now I see it selling for $51 on Amazon. But you know what? It's all about the contents and if it works for you. And I spent some time this morning going through the cards again, and I must say, this is not a deck that is all warm, fuzzy, and it doesn't give you the feeling instantly that it's going to grant all of your wishes. It's not a fairy godmother who's going to kiss your boo-boos and make it all better instantly. We have to apply ourselves. So there are some words and advice in here that is strong. I found it more like a spiritual guide or a guardian angel than a fairy godmother. Because when I think of a fairy godmother, I think the waving of the wand and everything's made better instantly, and I don't have to do the work. This deck says you've got to do the work, baby. It's shake your head and get around it because life is not always perfect, but we have to work towards that. There may be some words in here that are trigger words, that first word, abandonment. So it is a deck that's going to have to be used with care if you're using it for other people. I think it would be a great deck to open up conversations with for people that are struggling to be listened to or heard. I think it does have some encouraging words in it. I did go through the booklet today and just look for things that were standing out to me that I could mention about each of the cards. So this is the Fairy Godmother booklet that goes with it, put out by Llewellyn. And there are 40 cards in it. And it does have a couple of spreads after the introduction of how to use it. It goes into the single card reading, the 3-card spread, or the fairy star spread. Now, after I've spent a little time with it, I think I want to do this spread. I tried to draw something out briefly the other day, but it didn't really work for me. It wasn't quite right. So I might modify this a little bit and see if I can do a spread for a viewer one day. And it does give a fair amount of information, and it gives you a little poem that goes with each of the cards as well. And I think other people have had some issues with the wording. It can seem a little bit harsh. There's a few in here that when we get to them, I'll read it. And I think, though, this would be a very healing deck to use with people one-on-one and really get them opening up about some of the issues they may be experiencing, because, you know, right off the bat, that word abandonment, that could trigger a whole mess of things. So you'd have to be in the right frame of mind and, you know, a very welcoming type atmosphere where they could feel and trust that what they share is going to be listened to carefully, understood, and not something that you would share with anyone else, just them. And that's what reading to me is all about, that sharing time that you have together and opening up and just letting the cards sometimes lead the way of the conversation. So let's get on to the cards. And this first one is abandonment. So I'm going to zoom in a bit here and I'll adjust. I must say that I would have liked, like my little magic mirror here that I have, almost like the rim and the ring there of the mirror that they're trying to portray. I just think it would have been better to spread that a little bit and just have a little decoration around there and then float the word on top, because the images would be a little bit easier to see. So let's begin and look through the abandonment. The little poem says, "Stay with me, I need you so. Don't leave, you cry. But still they go, old patterns forming from the past. I wave my wand and stop them fast. Please now, don't you take the blame. Release, forgive. You've lots to gain." See, some of these little poems even could trigger all kinds of things for people. But some of the words that I clicked on, and I was just sort of letting spirit guide me for today, because I put it out there. I wanted to present this little deck and give it its due respect. And I asked for words that might help some people. So with abandonment, it suggests, through a lack of support, you have devalued yourself, feeling unimportant, even believing others see you as inadequate. You tend to be clingy and needy, hoping desperately not to be rejected, and take everything personally. Take heart, dear one, for I wish to fill you with self-love, confidence, and assurance that you deserve to feel much better. Wow, that is a lot. And the backs of the cards have that same star for the 7-card spread. And somehow I'd like to bring that to a cloth. But for now, and there's abundance, which is generally always a good card. Some of the words inside suggest that we think about, how can the universe give freely to you when you have barricaded yourself in? Perhaps you felt that you're not worthy of receiving or feel bad when accepting gifts. When you turn this type of thinking around, you will be in a position to receive all that is waiting to come to you. And then we have announcement. And you can see there in her hand, there's a little scroll, and she's holding it high. And the little poem says, "The trumpet blasts out loud and clear, announcing words you want to hear. Good news at last will come your way, but are there words you wish to say? Be bold, speak up, time to be true, announcing who you are. You're you." So I thought that was kind of nice. This one is attitude. And this triggers a word and a scene for me, in that this is one of the words my father always used when I was growing up. And if I was struggling, he would always say, "Well, you've just got to change your attitude. You got a really bad attitude." Well, those were not really helpful phrases at the time, let's just say. I could have used a hug and maybe some kinder words and possibilities, not just change your attitude. You got a really bad, shitty attitude. Oh, come on. So when it comes to this one, it says, perfection in this case will not transpire with the wave of my wand, I'm sorry to say. The skills you seek will come, but only with practice and more practice. It's the only way if you wish to improve or maintain your proficiency. Authenticity. I've heard that a lot. So the words there, come on out. You must not hide your true self any longer. It's time to face up to who you really are and embrace the fact that you are indeed one of a kind. And because some of us are one of a kind, another word that goes along with that is quirky. And that it can be a little difficult when someone refers to you as that, because it doesn't always sound complimentary. Then we have authority. And how many of us have had and struggled with authority figures? And one of the words or sentences I got was, oh dear, you don't like to conform, do you? Oh no. Awakening. What once appealed to you does so no longer. Friends are not quite on your wavelength, and what once motivated you no longer does. And it's suggesting that a kiss will wake you up. Don't know about that. Blossoming. What you think that all is perfect in your world. Whilst you think that all is perfect in your world, you may need to reevaluate the situation. So some of the words in here are not so kind, but they are direct, and they do get you thinking. Celebration. Your hard work coupled with natural flair is about to pay off. Many people don't achieve their goals, giving up at the first hurdle. Companionship. This one says you are noticing possibly a connection to animals. There's quite a few animals in that card. Well, it is out in nature. There's some animals there. Appearing near you or crossing your path. This is not random, for every creature holds its own energy, medicine, and brings a deliberate message from spirit. Your life purpose could very well be to work with animals, perhaps as a healer or a communicator. Now, I can see a badger there and the fairy godmother looking at us there, some spider creatures. So it's very much out in nature with a few more creatures down here. And a wonderful tea party. It almost looks like Alice falling down the tree in Wonderland, but things go a lot better at the bottom here. Then we have destiny. You have always felt different and special. But even though you have felt a calling, you don't actually know what it is you're meant to do. Trusting in your intuition will help you embrace life and live it to the fullest. Now, those could be some words that would be healing and helpful when doing a one-on-one reading for someone. Discernment. Having lots of people around you would make you feel and appear very popular, right? But with a big circle of friends comes betrayal. Too many sides to be on, and who has your true interests at heart? Who are the pretenders? Who genuinely cares? With all you have going on in your life, do you really have time to play the popularity game? Now, when I looked at this card and I saw that word, because the wand was pointing to the cauldron, I took it as when you're doing magic, to use discernment. Choose carefully. So intuition could come into reading these cards as well. Now, with divine love, this is the fairy godmother's message. Your ego haunts your self-worth, and you wonder if you are truly lovable. Your fears associated with love, such as a heartbreak, loss, rejection, have caused your heart chakra to shrink as you have grown guarded and defensive. You may think that this is a form of protection, but your fear has caused you to lose touch with your true essence. And this is where she sort of smacks you up the head. All right, dreams. When you go to bed, do so with a sense of excitement, for you are going on a journey, as you always do, whether you are aware of it or not. So this is your kingdom of visions floating through your mind as you sleep, and the spinning wheel to represent time and the stars, and the fact that somebody's watching you as you sleep. Encouragement. You worry what others who want you to slow down or ride on the coattails of your success will think if you do well. Remember, people who are not fulfilling their life purpose are the ones with the acid tongue. And one of the lines in the poem says, "You've come so far, don't back away. See it through." Exertion. I do not wish to sound like a killjoy, but your body's giving you signals that you are ignoring. Honor yourself by introducing healthy habits into your life and listen to your body's wisdom. Okay. Fickleness. This had a lot of sort of harsh information, but I am all for encouraging you to be individual and a free spirit, but it is important to hold yourself in high regard too. One minute you value yourself, and the next minute your insecurities have gotten the better of you. There's a lot more, but I'll leave that for when you purchase the deck and can really dive in. So this one is Fortitude. So look for synchronicities and meaningful coincidences. And I like the horseshoe there. To me, that's the right direction. And the four-leaf clover and her wand. Beautiful. Think black cats, horseshoes, and four-leaf clovers, for these are your companions as you walk your path of prosperity. Then we have guilt, which is another difficult word. You are so consumed with guilt that you are no longer able to function. The problem with this emotion is that it clouds your judgment and cloaks your outlook. What you once perceived as sunny now appears as a big black cloud, and you are blinded to the beauty that shines all around you. You tend to analyze what you presume to be people's emotional hurts and thoughts, and you end up torturing yourself with worry on their behalf. How many times have we all gone, coulda, woulda, shoulda? Healing. Look at reducing your intake of alcohol, caffeine, and fatty or sugar foods. Come on now, that's really cutting it. Take sensible steps to ensure the restoration of your health, and don't ignore the signs your body's trying to tell you. Identity. How wonderful it would be to admit your genuine likes and dislikes and to act accordingly, never minding the judgments and opinions of others. Yeah, and I like the way her feet are, because it's like, I'm not sure which way to go. I'm not really sure who I am, and I'm struggling to move forward. That's a good image. Insecurity. Now, when I looked at that, I just thought that the whole path was leading her somewhere. I didn't really get a feeling of fear, but I guess this could be a creepy little creature here on the side. You seem to be your own worst enemy at the moment, for your lack of self-belief and insecurities are making powerful but negative affirmations that unfortunately are manifesting in your reality. You are making things extra difficult for yourself by believing rubbish, like you are no good, that no one particularly likes you, and that you don't meet the standards of others. Wow. Kindness. Your ancestors understood that what you give out to others comes back in kind. Except that looks like the Wicked Witch, but they're still being kind to her. So give generously without fearing that you will be left with less. The universe sees it all and rewards accordingly. Oh, those kids are making her day. Knowledge. Well, there's a lot to share in there. I'm going to skip to, it is a good time to expand your mind through further education, studying, and books. A new career path beckons, as does your desire to learn. A whole world of discovery is yours for the taking. And that fairy behind him or her is sort of like a muse. It's kind of neat. This one is laughter. Listen up and allow laughter to help you break free from your self-imposed prison. You may be a little bit too serious lately, and it's beginning to take its toll. Okay, you have a busy schedule and deadlines to meet, but it doesn't have to be that way all the time. Listening. One of my roles is to bring you peace, but I must say that you aren't making my job easy. Do you get caught up in the drama and devastation of life's challenges? Or do you sit still as stormy waves crash all around you? Listen and be still. Magic. Now we're talking my language. Sadly, that wonderful mystical feeling has waned as you face responsibility and challenges along the way. What once brought you joy has dimmed, and a veil of cynicism now cloaks your senses. But what an adventure it has been, some of it spellbinding, some of it tough, but always endured by you with a sense of knowing that you have to push through, no matter what the cost. Okay, Mother Nature. Let's take a walk together through forests, meadows, and parks until your heart sings once more at the mere notion of the magic of nature. Okay, perception. Your perception of who you are is a little warped. For no longer can you see a wonderful being. No, instead all you see are faults, guilt, worries, and shame staring you blatantly in the face. Time to look through the eyes of your soul and not through the lies of the inner critic. Very good. Rejection. See, some of these words are not easy. Rejection from past situations has activated the self-destruct switch. Take back the power that was stripped from you by the words and actions of others and reclaim your true self. Rejuvenation. I give you full permission to take a break. Romance. You have a deep desire to connect with another, and your heart yearns for romance. Whilst you have been waiting for your perfect prince or princess charming to rescue you from your tower, you may have been blinded to the real deal who has been in front of your very nose the entire time. Okay, self-worth. Well, I feel quite sorry for the self. It's shunned and left upon the shelf. It wishes it could be like others, pop stars, actors, sisters, brothers. Decide on how you wish to be. Love who you are, for that is the key. Shame. Everyone makes mistakes as they traverse the path called life and gets caught up in the traps and pitfalls along the way. Making sure that from now on everything you do or say will be honorable as you do the best you possibly can. Truthfulness. The only way to heal from devastation is to know that it is much better to have found out now than to have been continuously lied to, and better that you confess sooner rather than later in order to avoid a bigger confrontation than you can handle. Venture. Well, I could go on and on, but let's just slow it down a little bit. There is the perfect little getaway car. Victimhood, that can be quite deep. Vulnerability. Wisdom. And wish. Making that wish and making it so that you put it out there that all is possible. I am deserving. And let it hurt no one. Good card to end on. Before I run out of memory on my phone, I'm going to wish everybody a fun, happy-filled day. And let's be light and airy and enjoy. Best wishes.